Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. XRP not doing too poorly right now. I have it here on the daily trading at 0.257. So we've seen since about September 24th, where we saw a low of XRP just under 22 cents, we've seen an upward trajectory coming out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay, and if I put it on the hourly, we can see some significant movement up over the last few days, of course. There have been some corrections, but ultimately we need to get past the 26 cent mark and make our way back up to, what was it? Well, first we got to breach 0.304, and then ultimately the inter-year high of about 33 cents, 34 cents, give or take. And XRP, guys, following Bitcoin, and Bitcoin right now is also doing very, very well on the hourly. As you guys can see, look at those huge pops for Bitcoin on the hourly, consolidating in these compressed ranges before we see another pop, and we're continuing to see this now. Bitcoin reached a high last night of about 11.5, so 11,500. Once it hit that $11,000 mark, we really did see it pop, and some are speculating that, 2021 is going to be a really important year for cryptocurrency, especially now since we've been in a pandemic for the better part of 2020 and the economy not really recovering. We've given it several months. The Fed has been printing money left, right, and center. And so what are the predictions for XRP price? Well, I know I don't have a crystal ball, but we're going to look at some price models that would suggest that, yes, and I am pinpointing an actual time frame here, that we could get back to a 50.5 cent XRP by Q1 2021. It's going to be dependent on a lot of things, and some of those things have to do with the overall climate of the world, cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, of course, traders, what people are doing. All trading is psychology, and people's emotions, people's trading decisions are based on what's going on in the world. So we have XRP Crypto Wolf here posting this. A Spanish cryptocurrency company sent all 350 congressional legislators Bitcoin. This project was similar to what we heard happen in a similar project called Crypto for Congress in the United States. Earlier this week, the Digital Chamber of Commerce sent every U.S. representative and senator $50 in Bitcoin. Now Spanish cryptocurrency advocates are getting in on the action. Spanish newspaper ABC reported yesterday that all 350 deputies in Spain's lower house, the Congress of Deputies, are due to receive €1 worth of Bitcoin. Only €1? That's kind of stingy. As part of a campaign by tokenized education technology platform Tutulus and crypto news site Observatorio Blockchain. I'm assuming that that's how they would pronounce it. Okay, the idea is similar to the US campaign called Crypto for Congress, although it's unclear whether that's just a coincidence. I definitely think it is a coincidence. I definitely think that somebody realized that this is what is going on in the United States, and of course, these governments around the world need to catch up, need to get up to speed on the action, and so perhaps sending them a little bit of cryptocurrency in a digital wallet set up for them is the answer. There's a lot of education happening right now. Ripple is on the forefront of that as well. We have the Swell conference coming up, so that could influence matters too. I also saw this, guys, from Michael at Val5 Links on Twitter. Crypto banks are going to swallow fiat banks in 3 years' time. Very, very interesting, because it was only recently that traditional banks were able to custody crypto for their clients, and now it's being suggested that crypto exchanges will actually be taking over traditional fiat banks. So if you think of it logistically, what does that also mean? It also means that cryptocurrency adoption will likely be very, very prevalent in the next 3 years. So in 3 years, a younger generation of banking customers won't do business with a traditional fiat bank unless it offers access to crypto. Within a few years, a younger generation of financial services customers are going to be able to walk into a bank and gain access to credit products, savings accounts, and investments that can host both crypto and fiat assets. In fact, the inroads that will allow for all this to happen is already breaking ground. I've reported on this in former videos. So you probably already know that Kraken, a cryptocurrency exchange based out of San Francisco, is now the first ever cryptocurrency business in the United States to become a bank. Guys, this was a quintessential moment, I think, for the industry at large, because if cryptocurrency exchanges can become banks, you got to think of the possibilities this opens up for Americans. And I don't know if this kind of thing is already happening in other parts of the world, but if other crypto exchanges in other countries realize that America is doing this, they are likely going to mirror the same concept for their clients. We got to remember too, new generation of financially influential investors, namely millennials, or rather younger millennials, and Generation Z. These guys are going to be the ones that are going to want to walk into a bank, or possibly not even walk into a brick and mortar. I think that those traditional institutions will be a thing of the past, but they'll go online. They'll want access to all the services that we are already used to in traditional banks, and they'll want to be able to mix their fiat and crypto. So for Kraken, a big development for them becoming a bank, and I think that this is going to create a snowball effect for these crypto exchanges. So for now, being an official chartered bank means that Kraken will be able to offer more banking and funding options for existing customers. It also means Kraken Financial is going to be able to operate in multiple jurisdictions without having to deal with state-by-state compliance plans. So Kraken, just one of the first to do this. They're currently working with Silvergate to offer SWIFT and FedWire funding options to US customers. But guys, this could change very, very quickly once we start to see crypto exchanges really kind of blossom, and we start to see more regulation surrounding the movement of cryptocurrencies and what banks can legally hold. I think we will eventually see more of a rollout for RippleNet and exchanging value through XRP. Okay, baby steps. We are in a marathon, guys, and we're still, well, we're not at the beginning, but we're definitely not at the end of this marathon. So something to keep in mind. Very interesting article. I will link it in the description for those of you guys who want to read more. Gonna keep moving along though, guys. This from the Cryptic Poet at one Cryptic Poet on Twitter. Federal Reserve approves Banco Bradesco's acquisition of Ripple partner BAC Bank. That's right, BAC Bank is a Ripple partner, and they are currently the 5th largest South Florida community bank with $2.3 billion in assets. Launched in 1973, the bank, which has one branch in Miami-Dade County, has primarily focused on residential mortgages and diversified banking products to foreign nationals. The regulator reports Bradesco plans to retain BAC Florida Bank's existing management. The Fed reports at least one person objected to the acquisition during the proposal's public comment period, arguing the transaction does not have a public benefit because Bradesco's plan to acquire BAC Bank to disproportionately serve affluent clients. But we're going to see a lot more of this, okay? Despite the fact that it could be caught up in controversy, we're going to see more of these bigger institutions acquire these smaller banks for this exact reason. If cryptocurrency, or rather, let me rephrase, when cryptocurrency regulatory clarity comes to pass, this is going to open up a brand new frontier for so many different businesses to enter. Of course, we've talked about the idea of Ripple possibly becoming a bank. I mean, I doubt that that's in the cards, but we don't know. That might not be in the cards today, but one day it could very well be in the cards. They've got to see, obviously, how their business model continues to evolve and how the landscape continues to evolve. But we're already seeing crypto exchanges become banks, and so these larger banks acquiring smaller banks, and we're seeing fintech companies, bigger fintech companies acquiring smaller fintech companies. You know, it's really like every industry. There was at a time an industry where there were dozens and dozens of car manufacturers, and now there's only a handful of really, really big ones because of the acquisitions that have happened. The same has happened with film production companies. There used to be a multitude in the 70s and 80s of smaller independent production companies, and then the big guys just swallowed them up. In some cases kept their branding, but ultimately they are just a smaller company under the bigger umbrella. And guys, I think the same is going to happen with banks. The same is going to happen with fintechs. It's just going to be a matter of time. So adoption will occur, and it's great that we're seeing more Ripple-related companies doing things like this. So this from Macadec XRP, SBI Holding Subsidiary to hold security token offering later this month. Japanese financial group SBI Holdings has announced it is moving into security token offerings, an STO, with a first sale of tokenized stock to take place at the end of October. So in a news release Friday, the company said its subsidiary, SBI Esports Co. Limited, will issue 1,000 shares of common stock with SBI Holdings as the underwriter. The STO will be conducted on a blockchain platform called iBet from Bootstree and Nomura Holdings-owned company that specializes in digital security infrastructure. SBI Holdings further said that it may go out on to launch a business managing public's offering to digital corporate bonds through SBI Securities, another subsidiary of the SBI Group. Let me go down here. SBI said it views use cases of blockchain technology such as STOs as core technology of fintech. and that it's focusing on building business lines in the field. SBI recently agreed to acquire crypto exchange Tao and is already a partner of US-based blockchain payments tech company Ripple, as we all know, having launched a joint venture to offer a cash transfer app called MoneyTap. So there was that news a few years back. SBI, a Ripple partner, obviously doing their part for blockchain adoption. So STOs, this is going to be conducted on a blockchain platform. Yoshitaka Kitao, obviously in very cozy with the new Prime Minister of Japan. And let's not forget how bullish Yoshitaka Kitao is on XRP. Just keep that in mind, guys, and SBI Holdings does have a vested interest in Ripple. So I want to keep moving along. This from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple early investor Standard Chartered Bank wants to hold more cryptocurrency for institutional investors. So adoption is continuing to grow. Investment bank Standard Chartered is planning to grow its cryptocurrency holdings on its balance sheet on behalf of institutional investors. The bank has put out 3 job applications in the last 2 weeks to build out a crypto asset team to support its goal. The bank already revealed it was planning on building a custody solution 3 months ago. However, 2 of the bank's recently published vacancies shows that Standard Chartered wants to actively grow its crypto assets under management. This puts Standard Chartered in a position to compete with investment giants like Fidelity, which has already launched a Bitcoin fund for wealthy investors. So Standard Chartered, of course, also wanting to get into the game. Reporting to head of sales and product, you will be responsible for the network management and product strategy that will proactively grow assets under management for crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, and other unregulated tokens, targeting institutional investors. This coming from the Standard Chartered job description. So an emerging asset, cryptocurrency, I think we can all agree that it is going to be big. Whether you're holding Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP, ultimately, you have to be holding something that isn't going to lose value because it is basically an SHIT coin. Okay, it's got to serve a purpose in this world. And I think, Bitcoin maximalists, people in the XRP community, and everybody in between, I think we can all agree that cryptocurrency is going to be huge in the financial world with regards to trading. And, I was thinking about this article from the other day that I reported on. It has to do with, remember the US government's move to regulate cryptocurrencies? And we read that report and it was all kind of very negative and very, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, I thought this was interesting. So this touches on this. Top U.S. officials, including FBI Director Chris Ware, pays homage to this revolutionary technology, meaning blockchain technology, which he says is very important and promising. In his comments, Ware pointed out that the new enforcement framework is aimed only at individuals who facilitate illegal trading using cryptocurrencies. So despite the fact that, the other day we were reading that article and it was a lot of you can't do this, you can't do that, the FBI wants to clarify, we are pro cryptocurrency and blockchain because we can see that it is useful. However, we want to crack down on the people that are using it for crime, illicit activity, buying and selling illegal goods, so on and so forth. So at the FBI, we first see the dangers of criminals bending the important technical promise of cryptocurrency to illegal ends. He says criminals now use cryptocurrency and we try to prevent the pursuit of money in various investigations. Cryptocurrencies are preferred when settling transactions involving illegal items sold on the dark web. In addition, ransomware criminals also prefer paid cryptocurrencies because they consider it difficult to track and detect. Meanwhile, a member of the Cyber Digital Task Force, Brian C. Rabbit, still taps into this positive view of cryptocurrency, saying these important discoveries are very important to follow the law. Rabbit clarifies that there are red lines, and if they pass, law enforcement agencies will not hesitate to respond. Okay, so more with regards to crime. But here's what I wanted to read you. The release of the cryptocurrency enforcement framework was also announced by another working group member, Beth Williams, appreciates that this reflects the DOJ's extensive collaboration with domestic and international partners. Williams concludes that the collaboration is aimed at legitimately benefiting cryptocurrency users and the general public. So ultimately, despite their heavy verbiage in that report, these guys do not want to stifle cryptocurrency innovation. They do want to allow the I suppose in quotes, good cryptocurrencies and positive companies to thrive in the industry. Although Ripple, on the other hand, is saying, guys, we got to speed this up because we are falling behind globally. So we've got different interests here, of course, butting heads in a lot of ways. We've got the government agencies like the FBI cracking down on these bigger kind of criminal pursuits. But then we have legitimate cryptocurrencies on the other side saying, okay, cool that you're doing that, but we still need to see the clarity so that we can get the stuff done that we need to get done. It is a very, very complicated situation, and we don't want the US to fall behind because we are seeing other countries, and I'm just going to touch on this real briefly from DJ Peter Vass. We are seeing other geographical regions going mainstream with crypto. This with regards to Gibraltar's Financial Services Commission, and they're ultimately stating here that crypto will go mainstream. This coming from the former regulator. More quality regulation, such as Gibraltar's updated guidance on crypto companies, is beneficial for those companies, end users, and the whole crypto space, leading to increased adoption. And what they're talking about here is that more regulation, not less regulation, is actually going to help foster more cryptocurrency adoption, because more companies that want to play by the rules, i.e. banks, traditional banks, they don't want to get into a situation where they could get sued or fined because they are not playing by the rules. Of course, these are in some cases multinational corporations that generate lots of revenue, and so they need the rules to be in place in order to play by them. Ripple's got this amazing technology that so many high-profile clients can use, and yet their hands are tied because the XRP token, it's still a big question mark. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson have said it. There's clarity around Bitcoin. There's clarity around Ethereum. Why isn't there clarity around XRP? Guys, I'll link this article in the description and everything else if you want to read further. I want to talk about the rally and where we could see XRP in the coming months. So right now, XRP is trading just shy of 26 cents. We have been seeing it rallying for a little while. Okay, it is rallying along with Bitcoin. And some people have been asking me, okay, I get it. It will rally. Something will happen. But when? And guys, I got to preface this with, I do not have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice. This is not necessarily 100% guaranteed. But what I have noticed here is an interesting trend, and I wanted to bring it back on the XRP chart just to show you guys this for a sec. Okay, here's XRP. Let me actually put it back on the daily for you guys to kind of zoom out here and show you guys where we've come from. And my prediction, okay, I'm gonna say this. I think that we could see an XRP reach 50 cents again, or rather 50.5 cents. It was around this time here that we hit that level of resistance back in June 2019. I think that it is possible that we hit that again Q1 2021. And here is why. Let's not forget, okay, right now XRP is trading at roughly 25 cents. Moving up to 50 cents is a 100% gain. So if you were to put in $1,000 today, that means you could make an extra $1,000 in a few months. If you put in $100,000 today, well, that would mean that you would make another $100,000 in a few months, give or take. By no means, guys, is this financial advice. I'm just giving you what the percentage looks like in terms of gains if XRP reaches 50.5 cents again. Now, why I think this is because I like looking at charts, I like looking at patterns, and when you look at the bearish trend all the way from early 2018 up until now, we are starting to see that reversal. Okay, we bottomed out in March 2020 because of the economic shutdown, and that kind of made all markets bottom out. Now we're starting to see an upward trajectory again. We hit resistance levels of about 35 cents up here, okay, for XRP. We came back up, we almost matched that, we rejected it, and now we're starting to see higher lows, higher highs. Now guys, why I think this is, take a look at this for a second. You take the high from January 2018, and ultimately XRP price, there were peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys, and then we bottomed out here, and then we saw a really significant peak up here. Now when you take the time frame of that took us from the top of that peak all the way to this peak. It took us about 260 days to get there. 260 days from the top of the bull run all the way to this next peak here when people were buying XRP in September 2018 based on the pre-swell pump. It was the pre-swell pump at that time, okay? 260 days. Now let's take a look at from this high over here all the way to when XRP did actually hit 50 cents or 50.5 cents in the summer of 2019. Another 274 days. So we have 260 days, 274 days. Interesting pattern emerging, okay? We're off by a few days, give or take, but it's in and around the same ballpark. Remember, guys, these are all significant levels of resistance, okay? Let's keep going, and I'm going to take this peak here to the most recent peak that we saw over here, guys, and that was when XRP reached a lower high of about 35.5 cents back in February before the big dump. Okay, guys, and as you can see here, another 238 days. So we have 260, 274, 238. And again, this isn't going to be perfect, but, you know, it's not like it's 540 days and then 30 days and then 200 days. All these time frames are relatively similar. It looks as though in a bear market, we are seeing pops every 250, 260, give or take. Okay. Now let's look at this, okay? I'm going to bring you here, and this was the last level of resistance that we hit, 34.5 cents, and we almost hit that here. We could see that XRP buyers wanted to come up, hit that price point, and ultimately we did get rejected there. Now, how many days is this? This is about 184, 185 days between these two rallies. So now we're seeing the number of days getting shorter in between peaks. Okay, this was the absolute bottom of the XRP market in recent memory. We came back up again, dipped back down, but we didn't actually reach this bottom again. It retraced in this zone here, for those of you guys looking at the screen. And then we rallied back up this summer, almost hitting that 34.5 cent mark. I'm sure on some exchanges it did actually hit 34.5 cents. Then we came back down, and so that's 185 days. Now, remember this, okay, take a mental snapshot. Now I'm going to go to Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you guys something very, very interesting with regards to the Bitcoin trends as well. Let's look at the last time Bitcoin rallied before it bottomed out and came back up into the last bull run of 2017. So we've got a similar pattern here, okay? Bitcoin at this top here back in November 2013, coming along around here, and over here we've got 184 days from this top to before it actually bottomed out significantly, before meeting in another resistance level. Okay, then we take this top here and bring it to this top over here. You guys can see this top over here. It's 165 days. So we got 184 days, 165 days for Bitcoin. So I'm noticing this pattern here. Now we take this top, okay, and we take it all the way to this over here, 118 days. So we can see it getting shorter and shorter as the trend is obviously adjusting. Now, if we were in this trend here back in March 2015, we wouldn't know any of this information yet, okay? We wouldn't know we were getting into a bull rally other than the fact that the days between peaks are getting less and less. Now, what do we got here? From this peak to this peak, we are also seeing about 122, 123 days, give or take, okay? 118, 122, obviously lower than the 165, 184. Let's take one more peek up here, and it's looking like from this peak to this peak, it's getting even lower, okay? So now we're seeing 116 days in between the times that Bitcoin bottomed out, came back up, retraced back up, bottomed out again, and came back up one more time. So Bitcoin formed a double bottom at that time, and we could see the amount of days between this are getting lower and lower. So let's bring XRP back up here, guys. I just wanted to bring this up to show you guys. So now we've got the double bottom for XRP. We can see that the tops are actually synchronized. We can see that the amount of days between the tops reaching about 34.5 cents, give or take, is about 185 days. And on the Bitcoin chart, I don't know if you guys remember, it actually took less time to reach the new high, okay? So just to be conservative, even if we take the same amount of time, 185 days, from this peak to the next peak, and yes, guys, I am projecting into the future here, and I don't have a crystal ball, okay? So just bear with me here. Even if we take another 185 days here, guys, to the next peak, which is the next logical level of resistance for XRP, that would bring us at about 50.5 cents, would bring us to mid-February 2021, so that would be Q1 2021. Of course, guys, I do not have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice, but this looks quite sound to me. Not only that, we also have to take in consideration Bitcoin's trend, and Bitcoin is continuing to rally as well. So an XRP worth 50.5 cents by Q1 2021 doesn't seem too far-fetched, especially since we know XRP is still following Bitcoin in this market. Bitcoin is rallying right now, trading at $11,350. So as Bitcoin rises, will we see XRP keep moving up? And will it hit 50.5 cents by Q1 2021, which isn't that far away? 100% in 4 months' time, I'd take that, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.